untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
And we're New York Jets fans, and I don't know what to make of this shit. Well, welcome everyone to Just Embrace the Suffering. Presented by No Credentials Required in association with Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts of the show. I'll bring in my co-host, my hop-along buddy, Jets fan Dan, in just a moment. But before we do that, I just have to remind you to if you wouldn't mind, give us a follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also check out our other material, our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. You can also subscribe to the OG show. This is primarily a YouTube exclusive on any of these platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, all those listed there, and our host, which is Podbean, and hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube so you know when shows go live, like this one go live, and we have show clips go up, and we have general announcements go up. This is primarily going to be on YouTube. This will also be on Facebook, and it'll be on my personal Twitter account, which is at whoisryanmcc. So for all of you who are watching us live and reacting along with us, welcome. Obviously, this show is going to revolve around yesterday's trade deadline deals with the departure of Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams. We'll also talk about the not bigger advertised trade of Michael Carter II to Philadelphia. We might have to talk about that just a little bit too. And we'll also talk about Breece Hall coming this close to being traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to bring in my special guest. I would say special guest, but I'm going to say my cohort Jets fan. He's South Florida's biggest Jets fan, and he's also a huge Florida Panthers fan. We're going to welcome in Dan Goldstein. Dan, how are you doing this evening, bud?
I flip-flop back and forth in a lot of different ways over the past 24 hours. Well, at this point, let's call it 32 hours, I guess, maybe, give or take, something like that, in that general vicinity.
Well, it's 8:41 Eastern time, so I would say, around 32 to 30.
We'll call it 32. We'll call it 32 hours. So the last 32 hours have been tumultuous as a Jets fan, to say the least.
Yeah.
I have certainly flip-flopped quite a bit on losing two key players that I felt were Jets for life type guys. But then going back and realizing the draft compensation there sets us up tremendously for a hopeful future. But do I get sucked into it again as a Jets fan? I don't know. I can't make up my mind yet.
Well, I'm still processing these trades. We'll obviously break these down and just go over, just suss through what's going on in terms of the aftermath and the compensation that the Jets got back for these trades. I mean, during the bye week, yeah, so much for a quiet bye week, Dan.
It's nothing can ever just go smoothly for the Jets. I mean, they have to figure out a way to stay in the news. And by God, have you found a way to stay in the news this week?
Yeah, it's crazy. So the first trade that kind of went down, it was kind of, I wouldn't say under the radar, but it was not as big a name as initially we thought. I mean, obviously with the big deal the big contract extension he got after 2022 was Michael Carter being sent to the Philadelphia Eagles for John Mechie, formerly of the University of Alabama. Drafted by the Texans, got traded to the Eagles, and then the Eagles said we need secondary help. So the Jets were willing to oblige, and they sent him to They sent Mechie to the Jets for Michael Carter II. And you could say about Michael Carter's production has dropped off significantly since the extension that he got. He's also been battling injuries, but his performance this year has been subpar, to be kind. But again, the Eagles need secondary help. They had a beat up secondary, and the Jets were willing to play trade partner for this deal. So, what are your thoughts about this trade?
I mean, it was very clear that this was a salary dump more than anything else. I mean, this was a move to try and just clear up clear up the remaining cap space off the books for the season, and just see if you can get a player with theoretical upside in return in Mechie. Mechie was very highly touted off of earlier from
Hello Kitty.
Mechie was very highly touted out of Alabama, but if you remember in his rookie season, I don't remember if it was his senior year of his rookie season, but he got diagnosed with a form of cancer.
Leukemia, I believe.
I can't remember if it was leukemia, lymphoma, one of the two. But he never really quite recovered from missing that time in his rookie year to be able to get up to speed with the NFL game. I mean, so it's strictly an upside play. Clearly, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. has acquitted himself nicely in the Jets secondary and seems to play more style that Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes want in their nickel corner anyways. So, what are you going to do? I wish Michael Carter the best. He was clearly very much a solid guy, very much built for their scheme. And he just never really had it after Saleh got fired. It was kind of between injuries and what time he did, what he did play was, like you said, subpar to the best. It's just time for a fresh start somewhere else. And I mean, where else better to be for someone like him than Philadelphia, really? So, yeah, you wish him the best. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference as for the Jets in the end of the day. It's just, we just hope maybe Mechie turns into a little something.
Yeah, this is they saw something they liked in Mechie, obviously, and it's that's part of the reason why they need the trade. And I wouldn't say the wide receiver room's filling up, but maybe they took a chance on a guy who could. Let's see what they got. Let's see what you got. And I don't know what Mechie's numbers were in college during the combine. I just know that he played at University of Alabama built, as Crimson Tide fans would say. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, all right, you have numbers come off the books from Michael Carter's contract, and let's see what Mechie can do. Like you mentioned, he was diagnosed with cancer, but before his rookie year, before his career even started in the NFL.
I think it was like right in the offseason, wasn't it? They got drafted and then they found it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So it was the university.
Because he got taken in the second round, and then before the season even began is when they got the diagnosis.
Yes. I'm just looking at his profile right now. Yeah, he was drafted he was drafted by the Texans in the second round in 2022, was also selected by the BC Lions of the CFL in 2022. But he signed with the Texans, 4 years, $18 million. Then he was diagnosed in that July of 2022, was diagnosed with acute promyelocytic leukemia.
Cystic.
I'm trying. But it is a form of it's a form of leukemia, and they treated it. He was cleared to return to training camp in 2023, and again, limited use, was traded to Philadelphia before the season, during training camp actually, and then it got traded to the Jets along with a sixth round pick in 2027 for Michael Carter, and the Jets 2027 7th round picks. So
Yeah.
so it's basically it's a 2 for 2 because you're trading for present and you're trading for 2 years down the road. So
it's just, again, strictly an upside play. If you can get anything out of him, it's just a bonus. If not, you took a shot and you move on. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, and he signed a 4-year deal. I don't know if that 2022 counts as part of his deal, or if the Texans take it off the books for a season and make it dead cap money, or it's a player unable to perform, so the contract comes off the books. So this would technically be the 3rd year of his contract right now. So you've got at least a season, half of a season, and another season to see what he can do. So the Jets weren't done. Now, there were rumors about two prominent names being shopped. It was Breece Hall and it was Jermaine Johnson. I would have had to think that it would be foolish to trade Breece Hall, considering that Garrett Wilson's been out the last 2 games. He's still, as far as I know, he's still questionable for this Sunday against Cleveland. But we'll see. But in the game against Cincinnati, Breece Hall was basically the entire offense between his rushing performance. He's on pace for his best season to date. Had a passing touchdown and had a couple of receptions. So he was basically carrying the entire team, no pun intended. So why would you want to trade him unless he says, I want out of here? Same with Jermaine Johnson. But yesterday afternoon, I first see it on Twitter. Ian Rappaport says, shocker, Jets trade Sauce Gardner to Colts. Then I got your voice text. And I initially
which is not family friendly.
No, I'm not gonna play it. We do have some spicy language during our show, but I'm not gonna play that because there's a
there's a lot of
there's a lot. There's more there was probably as many F-bombs in that one text as there was in South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. But needless to say, I get your voice text, and I can tell you were shocked, and I was, so was I. To be honest, I was absolutely befuddled.
I was in line to get a pizza, and I was getting ready to hand them my card, and I just happened to be looking down at my phone when the Ian Rappaport Twitter thing popped up, and I froze, and I was like halfway to giving my card out, and she had her hand out, and I just stopped. I was looking at my phone. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I just looked up. And
no!
I looked up, and I was just like, oh yeah, here. I'm sorry. I'm like, I said, I just got some news. I don't know what to do with it. She's like, is everybody okay? She's like, is everybody okay? I said, I don't know.
Family, yes, but as for me, I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. So literally, I got in the car, and that's when I sent you the message, and then had to go hop on Twitter to try and see what information I could try and grab before I ended up going back to work. And that was just, where would you place the Sauce trade as far as unlikeliest trades in, say, the last 10 years? Top 3? Maybe a top 3 most unlikely trade. There was no chatter, no rumor, no nothing. I
would say it's the top story. This came out of nowhere.
Literal nowhere.
Literally nowhere.
I cannot remember. I'm trying to think. I cannot remember another trade in, say, the last 10-ish years where it was a literal like superstar all pro out of nowhere kind of trade. He had no requesting to be out. He had no family members saying free sauce. He had no agent trying to come out there and strong arm shit. He had none of it. He had just gotten paid his extension. He was, it felt like a jet through and through. Yep. It's astounding. Granted, the Colts came in with a hell of an offer, man. I mean,
they did.
Now we can only hope that Daniel Jones turns into Daniel Jones, and they go from 7-2 to like 8-9, to end the season. So all of a sudden that 32nd pick turns into like a nice like 12-13 for us. But it's just shocking to say the least. It's just hard to fathom that he's not going to be part of the team anymore.
No, and he had just signed an extension during training camp, I figured, all right, Sauce is going to be here for life. I know some of the fans weren't very happy with it. God bless you. They weren't happy with it because he doesn't get enough interceptions. And it's like they don't throw to him. They don't throw to his side. They don't throw towards him at all because he's blanketing the receiver. So
yeah,
but it's like, he's only had 2 picks in his career, this and that, and like he didn't have many interceptions at Cincinnati either. So let's calm our tits, all right? Let's just keep in mind he was an All-Pro the first 2 seasons of his career, and I would say his play, he didn't have as good a season last year as he did the first 2 seasons. Battled some injuries, inconsistent play. This season,
he was still like the PFF, a number 11 like corner to like end the year last year. So like he had a down year by Sauce standards,
by his standards,
in his first 2 years. But you would have signed, almost any other team would have signed up for Sauce that we got last year as CB1 all day long and been like, what a difference this guy made compared to anybody else pretty much not named Patrick Surtain.
Right.
So like, I don't know, man. To me, it's just crazy. Like you have to, it certainly buys Muji and Glenn some time. Any and all talk of, the firing at the end of the season is now gone. I just don't see how it's going to happen now. It buys them time. It'd be crazy. The only possible thing I can think of would be something along the lines of like Harbaugh gets fired by the Ravens and somehow, some way is like, I would love to be part of the New York Jets. And Woody Johnson's like, I got to take this opportunity to do that. But like beyond that, I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it.
No. And so, I think that there were some reports that indicated that Glenn's going to get at least one more year, and they had to do something. They had to somehow, I wouldn't say blow it up, but at least do some remodeling. It's at least indicated, this was an indication that they initially weren't going to tear it down to the studs, but I do want to talk about the haul that they got in return. So the details after the initial trade was reported, we got more details. Sauce Gardner goes to the Colts. So he's going to be in Indianapolis. Right now, it's number 32 in the first round. Okay, that's fine. It's at least the first round pick. But don't forget, they could use that pick to trade up. They could use that pick they could use that pick to trade up, just like Joe Douglas did back in 2021 when he traded up to get Elijah Vera Tucker. So get their the Colts first round pick in 2026 and their first round pick in 2027 and a third round pick in 2026, plus the Jets get wide receiver Adonai Mitchell. He hasn't lived up to the standard that the Colts took the risk. I don't say a risk, but they took a chance and drafted him in the second round. I think it was 2 seasons ago, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And he was highly regarded as a really good wide receiver. He was excellent at Texas, but has been kind of playing his way off the roster. And I think that egregious premature touchdown celebration last month in Los Angeles kind of sealed his fate in terms of that. But it's a significant haul coming back to the Jets. But wait, there's more. Quinnen Williams on his way out. Again, another name that you said, okay, he could possibly be on his way out, but we'll see what kind of package they can get for him. So before I could say what the hell, and actually I had made a reaction video for Belly Up Sports to put on the socials when the Sauce Gardner trade came out. An hour later, Quinnen Williams is on his way to Dallas.
That's why you can't get premature with it, man. The trade deadline wasn't over yet.
No.
You had to wait till 4:50. You had to wait till 4:02 to make that video.
Yeah, right.
You know?
No, I mean, this was just an initial reaction because we have someone on our Belly Up team that is an Indianapolis Colts fan, and he was also shocked to say the least. But you know, it's for his club. Obviously, he's very happy with it. But as soon as the Quinnen Williams trade came out, just like, all right, I gotta react to it later, because there was rumors that there were more trades possibly on the way. But now we see the Quinnen Williams trade. He's on his way to Dallas, and we're saying, okay, what are we going to get? What are the Jets going to get for him? Turns out another really nice compensation package. They get Dallas's second-round pick in 2026. They get their choice of first-round pick in 2027. They can either take, depending on how Dallas and Green Bay finish in 2026 for the 2027 draft, because one of those picks could be the pick that Dallas acquired from Green Bay for Micah Parsons, or it could be Dallas's pick, period, in 2027. Plus, they get I'm not sure if it's pronounced Maisie or Mazzy.
I think it's Mazzy.
Mazzy Smith, who is an interior lineman.
Is a physical freak that cannot figure out the game of football.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So another guy who's high in the RAS score.
He's a physical freak of a RAS score guy and has absolutely zero clue on how to properly play the position.
So we got Michael Clemens part 2.
Oh, no, that's not even a fair comparison. Michael Clemens isn't an athlete. This is he's the Vernon Golston of defensive linemen.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's what he is.
Well, I want to talk about the compensation package though. It's again a really nice return. Now, granted, we've come to find out later that Quinnen Williams had asked the Jets not once, not twice, but 3 times for a trade. And I had a hypothesis about this last night on the OG show. I think this stemmed from when the Glenn Muji team told Aaron Rodgers to basically kick rocks, because we come to find out later that day that Quinnen Williams sent out a message on social media saying, "Well, I guess it's time for another rebuild." And I think that was the match that lit the fuse that eventually was going to become this trade.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know, he wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers there as an established vet and try and build upon it. And, once they decided to say no, he saw the writing on the wall. Quinnen Williams has unfortunately been just a part of horrible, horrible losing. And that takes a toll on a player of Quinnen's stature. Yeah. It really does. So,
yeah, I don't blame. Didn't he win a national title at Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he sure did. He run it with Tua. And, it's just, that takes a toll. That takes a hell of a toll on a player of Quinnen's status, to that you give everything that you possibly can, and it's just the others around you just can't match and can't rise up to your level, and you're just left with your basically your dick in your hand with and nothing to show for any of it. It's really unfortunate. So I'm not surprised Quinnen wanted out and Quinnen got out. I kind of had a feeling if he didn't get traded this season, he would have forced a trade in the offseason anyways.
Oh, for sure.
He would have had to. He was going to rework. He needed to rework his deal anyways to get more money. The Jets weren't even going to. Obviously, I don't even think the Jets would have even considered it, to be honest with you. So it was just, you took the compensation now instead of waiting till the offseason, which is the smarter play. You take advantage of the desperation at the deadline instead of letting them settle into the offseason and getting lowballed. So I don't, again, another one. I love Q. He embodied everything that we wanted the Jets players to be. It's just unfortunate that he just never even got even a taste of winning here. And I wish him all the best in Dallas. So it's just kind of wild to me that, the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons for the deal that they get instead of paying him. And then they basically almost give the Jets close to the same deal to get Quinnen, and you're going to have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're looking at it from apples to apples comparison, would you want Micah Parsons with just a record-setting extension to be on your team for the next 5-6 years? Or would you want to lose draft picks and have Quinnen on probably a fairly substantial extension rework deal for the next 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just would have paid Micah. That's just me. I would have just paid Micah. Edge is always going to do more than interior defensive line. And a player of Micah Parsons at edge was literally a generational kind of guy. Quinnen's not generational. Quinnen is incredibly good. Quinnen is worth every dollar. But Quinnen is not generational. Micah Parsons is generational.
Yeah.
To me, it's bad. It was bad football by Jerry Jones. But now you have your
par for the course for Jerry Jones since 1997.
You have your picks from Green Bay.
Yeah.
So you do have some extra ammunition, but then to turn around and send, ammunition like that back for a player of a lesser important position and I would say a bit lesser quality. Nothing against Quinnen, but it's hard to compare anybody to Micah Parsons. So it's just, I don't really know what Jerry Jones is trying to accomplish here. I really don't know exactly what his end game was.
Well, Dan, I have to tell you here, we still have some holes to fill. We have some holes to fill on that defensive line after we got tore up by fourth string running back Bam Knight, who used to be part of the New York Jets on Monday night. So we're this close to becoming playoff contenders, and we had to get some extra help on that defensive line.
Word on the street that I read tonight too was that Quincy Williams was supposed to be a part of that deal, and Dallas was going to back out if he was. He's
on the bench anyway. He wanted to get benched anyway.
That's the rumor. That was the rumor that he was supposed to be a part of the Dallas deal. No additional compensation or anything like that, but it was supposed to be a package deal, from what I understand, to send them both. But Dallas didn't want to take on Quincy and the salary.
Yeah,
as far as that goes. And then they turned around and traded for Logan Wilson from the Bengals anyways. So, now the Jets are benching Quincy Williams for whatever the hell reason that they have for it, I guess. I don't know. And it's just it should be a very interesting season. And I imagine I was 5-12 to start the year, if you remember. That was my prediction.
Yep.
I
do remember.
5-12.
That was in the back of my mind yesterday while I was making dinner.
I predicted 5-12, and you had them at a 7-win team. You had them, you thought it'd been a 7-ish win team.
That's what I thought initially.
Yeah. And now, I don't know if we win 3 at this point. You should beat Cleveland. I mean, there's no...
You better be Cleveland.
Dylan Gabriel should not win against any team in the NFL. I'm sorry. He just shouldn't. So, like, you should beat Cleveland. But
to be fair, you beat Miami.
I mean, that was awesome. I can't lie. That was awesome. But then Miami came out and shellacked who? Was it Dallas?
Atlanta. But Atlanta's not that great either.
Yeah, that's right. They came out and shellacked Atlanta. So it's just going to be a long season. And I imagine next year is probably not going to be great either, unless they are able to pull off some kind of crazy overhaul and hit on so many draft picks. So we can only hope and see.
Well, before we go on to our next segment, before we talk about what's next for the Jets, I mean, I did mention that Breece Hall we didn't talk about Breece Hall requesting a trade after Quinnen got traded and after Sauce got traded. Somehow they must have made peace, but it was reported that the Kansas City Chiefs were this close to acquiring Breece Hall, but the Jets wanted a 3rd rounder. They were only willing to give up a 4th rounder for Breece.
I think that's stupid of Kansas City.
Yeah.
I think it was stupid for Kansas City. You could have had Breece for a 3rd for the rest of the season. Granted, I understand that's a lot to pay for a half a season rental. That's a lot to pay for a half season rental with no guarantee that he stays. But what Breece could have brought to the Kansas City offense could have easily catapulted you into another probable Super Bowl and been the X factor to really make sure you were able to keep your opposition off the field, going in, which is what the problem was last Super Bowl with Philly, was you couldn't keep them off the field, and they just kept scoring.
Yep.
So for me, if I was Kansas City, thinking you're going to be as good as you're going to be, I absolutely would have given up the 3 and had the first rights to try and keep him around long-term for Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a bad move ultimately by Kansas City. I think you're holding on. I think you're holding on to a pick that has give or take to be a player of Breece Hall's status less than 10%, and to be even quality contributor maybe less than 40%. I don't know. To me, I would have traded the 3rd if I was Kansas City. That's me. I would have done it.
Yeah, I would have done it too. But Kansas City wanted to lowball the Jets, and Darren Muji said, "Absolutely."
I mean, you got to give it to Darren Muji, though. I mean, to get these kind of he's clearly, it's very clear. I mean, we had the same comment about Douglas, though. He always seemed, for the most part, to be the winning side of the trade based on the player and or compensation that he got or gave up. It always seemed to kind of be in his favor. The one thing Joe Douglas that I think a lot of Jets fans agree upon was he was excellent in the trade market.
Yes.
He found value or he got value.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, Muji has shown that same prowess when it comes to it. Getting Harrison Phillips, getting Jawan Briggs, getting Jarvis Brownlee. These are guys that, I mean, we had all heard of Harrison Phillips. I think if you're a slightly more than casual football fan like we are, you knew who Harrison Phillips was. I don't think a lot of people knew who Jawan Briggs was. I don't think a lot of people knew who Jarvis Brownlee Jr. was. But clearly Muji knew what the fuck he was doing. And these guys have been contributors. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say they've set the world on fire, but Jarvis Brownlee Jr. came in and stole the starting job from Michael Carter. And Jawan Briggs has really become a very big bright spot in the defensive line, the interior defensive line for the Jets, and is basically now probably the only positive interior defensive lineman the Jets have now that Quinnen's gone.
Yeah.
And Harrison Phillips with his character and his leadership, it's been very good moves so far for Mughi in the trade market. You just have to hope that he learned from the Arian Smith debacle on his scouting, and you can hopefully rein in your valuation on day 3 guys and be able to get contributors. Because right now, day 3 for Darren Mughi looks like dog shit between Maui Goa, Barron, and Arian Smith. I mean, Maui Goa's had one really great game.
He has, I can say, to be fair, Maui Goa has had a couple of really good games. Really good games, but he's been a solid contributor after a bad start.
He's been better than what a 5th round pick should be at this point, but he's certainly not setting the world on fire. Arian Smith,
not yet. No.
Arian Smith was the darling of training camp and has done absolutely nothing to start this game. I don't even recall them even trying a bomb yet to Arian Smith through the first.
No, they have not. They have not stretched the field with.
They haven't even tried. And Tyler Barron looks like he doesn't even belong in an NFL field.
I can't.
I've never seen a defensive end be so bad at tackling. It's quite astounding.
I can't recall Barron ever getting on the field, to be honest with you. That's how forgettable his play has been. By the way,
you would know who he was because you just go back and look at his videos like, oh, yeah, he's that guy that missed that tackle. Oh, yeah, he's that guy that missed that tackle. Oh, yeah, he's that guy that missed that tackle. Because that's what Tyler Barron has been. He's been a nightmare.
Well, before we take a commercial break, we have one comment in the comment section. My friend, the Playmaker, saying, Ryan, my brother, good evening. Evening to you, sir. And we have some breaking news from the NHL, Dan. I got to pass along. Alexander Ovechkin has scored goal. Just before we went on air, Alexander Ovechkin scored his 900th career goal.
Never thought I would see a player hit 900 career goals. That's astounding.
And you have to go in social media and look at the goal he scored. Basically a no-look shovel shot right into an open net. It's beautiful. Gotta love hockey. I love sports.
As soon as we get off it, I'm sure I will be all over Twitter and it'll be all over my feed.
Oh, it's all right. It's already on there. It's already on there. All right, we're gonna take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about what is going to be next for the New York Jets in regards to this trade haul. Also, what it could mean for free agency. But we'll talk about that in just a second. Stay tuned and stand by for Just Embrace the Suffering on No Credentials Required.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
That's right, folks. SeatGeek is one of our proud affiliate sponsors here at Belly Up Sports. Let's take a quick gander at the prices for seats at MetLife Stadium for Sunday. Let's have a look. Let's see what we got here. New York Jets. So, Dan, pop quiz. Where do you think the prices are? Where do you think the prices start from? Like the lowest possible price for Sunday?
$16.
You're a little too far off.
I wouldn't pay more than $16.
Well, the starting price is $47 for Sunday.
Not worth it.
But I will say, December 21st, Jets at Saints, they start from $29.
Still not worth it. That's a $10 game for me.
But if you choose to go to see this dog crap team at the air conditioning at an arena that looks like a central air conditioner, you can go to SeatGeek.com and you can use their pricing tool to find the best tickets at the best possible prices. But it's not just for going to see dog crap football teams. It's also for concerts. It's also for comedy shows. It's also for Broadway shows. Or if you want to go out and see another sport like the NHL, the aforementioned NHL, go to a Washington Capitals game, or in Dan's case, go to a Florida Panthers game. For me, my New Jersey Devils, let's go. Or if you choose to go to an NBA game, you can go see them too. But you just want to go. What you want to do is go to SeatGeek.com. Again, use their pricing tool, get the best seat at the best price, and while you're at it, you save $20 off your order of $50 or more using promo code BellyUpSports at checkout. That's BellyUpSports at checkout with SeatGeek.com. $20 off your order, $50 or more with promo code BellyUpSports at checkout. All right, Dan, we're going to wrap things up here. Talk about what's next for the New York Jets. Let's recap this trade haul from yesterday. You're going to have 2 first-round picks in 2026. You get
one of which is expected to probably be at worst top 5. Worst, the top 5 pick.
Yes, at worst, top 5. You've also got an extra second-round pick in 2026. In 2027, you're going to have 3 first-round picks. You got your own pick, you get Indy's pick, and you got your choice of either Dallas's or Green Bay's first-round pick in that draft. Plus, you get an extra third rounder. No, I'm sorry, you get an extra third rounder in 2026 as well. So you've got yourself lots of room to work with. But wait, there's more. There's not just the draft. There's also salary cap implications. Right now, the Jets have about approximately $19.5 million in cap space. That's according to Jets Muse. In 2026, for free agency, they're going to have at least $95 million to spend in the offseason. And in 2027, this is with MC2's contract coming off the books. This is with Sauce Gardner's contract for his rookie year, because his option got picked up for year 5, and they're only going to have $8 million in dead cap space for his signing bonus because his signing bonus was only $15 million. So it's $8 million on those books for 2026 and $7 million for 2027 of dead cap space. And Quinnen's contract comes off the books. And you've got other expiring contracts coming off the books as well. In 2027, as of right now, in 2027, I think, if I remember correctly, I'll find the exact tweet. It's on the Asmaniac chat. Over $237 million. But that's for 2027 right now. I have a couple of theories I want to pass by you.
I have one as well.
Okay. But you know what? You go first. What's your theory?
I think the Jets are going to make a sweetheart deal to Cincinnati for Joe Burrow.
Damn it. I was going to say that myself.
There's something about, I don't know. And I don't know why. I truly don't know why, but it just feels like Cincinnati is kind of out of patience with Burrow's injuries. And they're just going to want to start fresh and start their own kind of rebuild in a way, if you will. And I have a feeling that they're just going to try and come to terms for Joe Burrow, because I don't think the Jets want to start over with a rookie QB. I really don't. But they don't want to go with the super old veteran route either. You don't want the Brissett, Flacco, Rodgers kind of train, Tyrod Taylor kind of train. So you got to find something right in the middle. Right. And really the name that does make the most sense is Joe Burrow, highly paid quarterback, tons of talent, just can't stay healthy. And it feels like the right time for Cincinnati also to hit the reset button. And it feels like a way for the Jets and this administration to just supercharge the rebuild as much as possible. Now, they won't give up their top 5 pick for it.
No.
It won't be the Jets pick. It will be Indianapolis's pick.
Yes.
That's the pick that'll go for Joe Burrow. And if Indianapolis falls anywhere between 26 and 32, you trade that for Joe Burrow all day. Now, the question is there more compensation to go along with it? Entirely possible. I would not go anything more than a first and a third just because of his injury history. I certainly would not try and give up any picks in 2027 for him either. 2027's draft class is stacked. Absolutely stacked. So if you're going to bring on Joe Burrow and use Indianapolis's pick, then that frees you up to do whatever it is you want to do with your top 5.
And Dallas's pick too.
The second rounder, correct. Well, that's what I. Yeah,
but no. In 2027, they get Dallas's. They get one of Dallas's picks. Okay,
right. They get Dallas. So I mean, but for 2026, so they give up Indy's pick in 2026. You can do multitude of things now. Let's say they stay at pick 3. Let's just say there's pick 3 going down. Right. You expect. Chances are one quarterback's gone. And if Tennessee's the team ahead of them, it's going to be the edge rusher Reuben Bain from Miami because Tennessee is horrendously bad at edge, and he's like the top player in the draft right now. That frees the Jets up, I think, to probably take a trade down from a team like the Raiders or a team like the Saints. Not the Saints, excuse me. A team like somebody else that's going to be looking for a quarterback that I can't think of off the top of my head. Maybe even Cleveland, to come up.
Vegas.
Well, that's what I mean. The Raiders are the most likely team to do it, but maybe even Cleveland to jump up, who looks like they're going to be easily in the top 10 as well, to jump to 3, grab their quarterback of what's left over between probably Dante Moore and Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza. One of the 3, 2 of the 3 will be there. And the Jets move back and probably gain more picks for 2027. It would not surprise me to see the Jets do that in the slightest. And then they drop back probably into a 8 to 12 range. Maybe it's called maybe 7 to 10 to 8 to 12 range. And they probably take the best available wide receiver. You take Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, or you take Carnell Tate from Ohio State. And you have somebody there ready to go in the hopes that, you try and grab you with Joe Burrow to supercharge it. You're going to transition tag Breece Hall. You're not going to franchise him because you don't need to. You're going to transition tag him, save the money that you would compare to the franchise tag, and then give a team an opportunity to see what kind of deal they can muster up. And if they give him that deal and you don't want to match it, that's just another second round pick for 2027 that I think actually, no, it would be for 2026. It'd be for this draft. If I'm not mistaken.
Franchise tag is first round.
It's 2 first rounders.
2026.
Yeah. The franchise tag, I think, is 2 first rounders, and the transition tag is whatever round they were drafted in. So you'd have to give up a second and sign Breece Hall to a mega extension. Is a team willing to do that? It's possible. He's talented enough to warrant it. The question is, are the Jets, are they willing to match the deal to keep Breece Hall around? So you have Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Joe Burrow, and in my scenario, another wide receiver 1-esque player.
And don't forget Mason Taylor.
And with Mason Taylor going into year 2 and 3/5 of a solid offensive line, and then whatever you feel like doing with John Simpson and at center. So it's entirely possible. And then in 2027, if you do that kind of a thing, you expect now you have 4 first round picks in a draft that has Arch Manning, Dylan Raiola, Oh my God, there's the kid from Ohio State whose name is escaping me at the moment.
Smith, Harrison Smith.
No,
not Harrison
that's
Smith.
not it.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, look it up. But he's playing like the best quarterback in college football. He's draft eligible. You also have Jeremiah Smith, the absolute insanely ridiculous wide receiver from Ohio State, available, draft eligible. You have Ryan Williams from Alabama, who is draft eligible. In that, I mean, 27 is stacked on top of some of the edge rushers that they have available to it, on top of some of the offensive linemen that they have available to it. It's a ridiculous draft. It has the potential to be one of the best we've ever seen. So to stockpile picks for 27, to me, would be the smart way to go. Punt on 26, or bring in Joe Burrow and hope for the absolute best, but really focus on the 27 draft to fill out the rest of the gaps between that and the salary cap that you've carried over from whatever your free agent signings are in 26.
Okay.
You know, if you can go into 27 with, say, 100 million, 80 million, 100 million available to you in 27 and 4 first-round picks, I don't see a better scenario than that.
Yeah. So I had to correct myself here. So I looked up the actual tweet on Jets Muse. This is as of yesterday at 6:17 p.m. Eastern time. 2025, they still have 19.7 million in cap space. This is with, again, MC2s, Sauces, and Quinnen Williams contracts off the books. 2026, they'll have 94.3 million to spend. 2027, again, all these contracts coming out. This is including expiring contracts coming off the books. As of right now in 2027, they have $209 million to spend on the cap. But again, you have to account for free agents coming in for 2026. So now here's my theory. And I have 2 theories here. First, go through a year of pain. Go through another year. Finish this season. I see 2, maybe 3 wins. 3 more wins this year. You finish at 3-14 or 4-13. I see a win over Cleveland. I see a win over Miami at home, and I see a win over New Orleans. Those are the 3 wins I could say there's a certainty of it. Although I could be wrong. Especially with this team. So go through the rest of the year, finish 3-14, finish 4-13. Finish with at worst with the 5th pick in the draft. Based on how badly they want Fernando Mendoza. Because right now Tankathon has the Jets picking Dante Moore at 3 for the kid from Oregon, which wouldn't be terrible, but they don't want to be terrible anymore. They want somebody they can build around, and they happen to think and believe that Fernando Mendoza is the top guy to go with. Although my favorite, to be honest with you, is Diego Pavia, but he's probably a 2nd or 3rd rounder at best. Although I see a lot of Baker Mayfield in him, a lot of those tendencies. Absolute dog will do anything to win. It will do anything to win. But it's my preference. But you go with the player who's the best. You trade up to get Mendoza. You trade with New Orleans, who, I mean,
Why would they? They have no reason to. Shuck is terrible and Ritter's gone.
I was just about to get to that. But that's the question, too, is that does Kellen Moore really want to ride with Shug and Rattler after this season? Probably not. So even if you don't get Mendoza, Dante Moore is right there for the taking. And Dante Moore is again, solid quarterback. A little on the small side in terms of physicality. I mean, he's listed at what? He's 6'3" and 206. All right, so a little on the skinny side. You can put some muscle on him, but I think he's still a very good quarterback. Go through a little bit more pain in 2026, but you can attract some free agents. You can bring in a wide receiver. You can bring in an interior defensive tackle. You probably shop for a corner. I don't have what's in front of me for free agents for all those positions because there's need. There's need at depth for defensive tackle, at linebacker, and at corner. Safety, I think they're okay. But you also need a wide receiver too.
And 3. And 4.
And 3. And 4. But we can do that. You can do that through the draft with that extra pick in the first round. Or you can go shopping in free agency. Go through a year of pain in 2026, try to compete, and then 2027 go shopping again and complete, and then hit the ground running for the playoffs if they decide to keep Glenn and Muji. My other theory, as you stated, use some of that draft capital, use that cap space, and go get yourself a quarterback like a Joe Burrow or Joe Burrow, period. Bring him on home. Bring him to New York. He's already a superstar quarterback. New York loves themselves some superstars. Although I will say sarcastically, don't give him number 9 because that's Bryce Petty's number. You don't give it to any schlub off the street. But Joe Burrow's not a schlub off the street, so he can have number 9.
He's earned it.
He has earned it. But no, if you look, at least with Joe Burrow, he's not gonna have Jamar Chase. He's not gonna have T. Higgins. Okay, but he's got Garrett Wilson. He's got a safety valve tight end like Mason Taylor. He's got a running back like Breece Hall who can help him help take the pressure off of him, and he's got a better offensive line than he has right now in Cincinnati that can protect him. He's also got a defense who right now they're still working on some things. They've improved, albeit against that game against Cincinnati, they regressed back to their old form. But against Denver and against Carolina, they were starting to show improvement. But again, you work in free agency to get those players to be back on defense. Will they get back to 2023 form and 2022 form under Glenn and under Steve Wilkes? No, you won't. You won't. But if you can do things that win you games, that gets the ball back to the offense, then yeah, I'll absolutely take that.
Best case scenario for the Jets is Cincinnati takes your Indianapolis pick. That's the back of the first round this year, and Joe Burrow comes over. Mm-hmm. You then, I mean, ignoring free agency because it's just too impossible to truly try and figure out and predict, especially with the amount of holes this team has. Right. So let's just assume they made some changes. They made some adjustments. They filled some serious holes in free agency with some of the money they had, right? You make the trade for Joe Burrow. They trade down with let's go with just the 3rd overall pick. They grab another wide receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson, either Jordan Tyson from Arizona State or Carnell Tate from Ohio State. And you have 2 studs right there ready to go. You fill out, some other spots with your 2nd rounders and your 3rd and your 4th rounder and such like that. They don't have a 3rd at the moment right now, 26. So yeah, that is best case scenario there. Then you go through the season, if you're lucky, you sneak into the back end of the playoffs. I don't see you still being able to be better than the Bills. And at this point, I still don't even know if I'm still better than the Patriots, because of Drake fucking May, which is infuriating to say the least that the Patriots get to do this. It looks like again, it's so not fair. But I'm not crying. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction.
No. Plus their schedule is, they beat Buffalo, but the rest of their schedule is so weak, and I can't.
Doesn't even matter. Even weak or not, Drake May looks amazing.
Playoffs. True.
Weak or not, Drake May looks absolutely incredible. But then, assuming you've made a trade down into the back end of the top 10, you should have another 1st rounder now. And if we're going, let's say Oakland, you probably have Oakland in somewhere within the top 10. You probably have the Jets again somewhere within the top 10 to 12. You have let's assume probably Green Bay still better than Dallas going into 27 because Jordan Love just looks excellent when he's given the opportunity. So let's just assume
Toyotathon's coming.
Let's just assume it's probably Dallas's pick they choose, and that's probably somewhere in the mid to late teens. And then you also now have Indianapolis's pick, which again, if they continue to keep this up, it's probably 27 to 32. So that right there is where you take Oakland's pick and you grab Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams for sure. And you just have the absolute best 3 wide receivers in the NFL at this juncture. You take your edge rusher, whoever your best edge rusher is, and you pair him next to Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson, who is probably at that point is probably hopefully getting an extension, right? And Will McDonald gets his 5th-year option picked up if everything goes well. You get yourself a stud linebacker because Quincy's gone and Jamie and Sherwood's going to go into the last year of his deal at that point. And maybe you get a guard. Maybe you get a center. Maybe you get a safety. Or maybe you just go balls to the wall and you get another tight end. And you pair somebody with Mason Taylor and you just have an absolute stacked tight end in the hopes too, if everything goes perfectly planned, you somehow mend fences with Breece Hall and he's here on an extension for $14 million a year for 4 years. That's his best case scenario.
I have been searching on Spot Track for free agents for 2026, and there's 2 names, one on offense and one on defense. On defense, Devin Lloyd. He's a free agent this coming upcoming free.
He's getting older. He's getting older.
He's 27.
Well, he hasn't quite played up to his ability though.
No, but he's up until he got injured, he was having a really great season.
Yeah.
So
he's a perfect flyer to take a chance on. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Especially if you can get it for injury flyer money, Yeah.
The other guy on offense, and he's going to be 32. He'll be coming off a broken collarbone, a season-ending injury with a broken collarbone. Mike Evans.
I don't see it. Mike Evans will retire a buck. Mike Evans is going to retire a buck.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just throwing names out. I'm just throwing names out there. But
it would be one. I would take Mike Evans every year until his ankles pretty much detach from his body. But he's going to retire a buck. He has the ability to do a very unique thing that right now, where he has been basically an all-pro every single year of his career for one team. This is the first year it's not going to happen, unfortunately, due to the injury.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he's going to want to leave the Bucs like that. I think he's going to put in 1 to 2 more years, and they're just going to be with Tampa Bay. And they're going to try and maximize their window with Baker and Godwin and Ibuka. And then he's just going to ride off in the sunset. I put Mike Evans playing for any team that's not Tampa Bay at probably less than 5%.
Yeah.
It's just a literal pipe dream.
It would be, it's fun to dream. I'll just say that it's fun to dream. I mean, having somebody, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, Diego Pavia throwing to Mike Evans and Garrett Wilson.
I don't
to start your career.
I don't think this is the year I want to take a quarterback if I'm the Jets. Like, I understand you need a quarterback, but I'm either going to use my capital to fill out my roster and go into 27's draft, probably looking to get a rookie quarterback if I don't come away with a Kyler Murray or a Joe Burrow. Or you just have to go after Kyler Murray or Joe Burrow. And I don't really want Kyler Murray, but I would take Kyler Murray off. I would take Kyler Murray on like a 3rd round pick over Fernando Mendoza in the top 3. And that's just me, because you can
It's-
get out of that if it doesn't work and still try in 27 and say, we gave it a shot. That's just me.
It's the contract. It's
You
that
can
contract,
rework
and he's
that.
too injury prone to, or had earned that money. Yes, he's when he's healthy. Yes, absolutely, he's a highlight film, and especially when he has dangerous receivers at his disposal, like he had with the DeAndre Hopkins and to an extent Marvin Harrison Jr. But that would be a hefty risk unless Arizona takes on a bunch of that contract. I don't see it. But that's just me. I mean, you got a different opinion?
I mean,
that's cool.
Like, Arizona, I think, is absolutely going to look to unload Kyler Murray. I don't think there's any doubt in their mind. But I mean, Arizona's going to ask for something insane that no one's going to be willing to give them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the posturing in the media is going to be ridiculous when it comes to Arizona and what they're going to ask for Kyler Murray, knowing they're not even going to get anywhere close to it. So I don't know. To me, if you're going to give it it's just, I'm not very impressed with the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft. I feel like they all have a cap ceiling where you can get them to be just good enough to be a playoff winner, but never a Super Bowl contender.
No, and having a top quarterback does not guarantee you anything. Doesn't guarantee you wins. Doesn't guarantey a Super Bowl. Doesn't even guarantee a playoff appearance.
It guarantees you nothing. But you have to play the game of what gives you the best opportunity to build out the most complete roster you can think of. Right. So you have to weigh the pros and cons of giving up draft picks for a player like Burrow's caliber, Murray's potential, etc., or looking into investing and developing in a rookie quarterback, or just completely punting on the season. You go in with Justin Fields again for just because, and then you just do what you can in 27. Maybe in 27, you get the opportunity to grab a Joe Burrow, or you grab Arch Manning, Dylan Raiola, the kid from Ohio State, who, again, I still have not been able to remember his damn name this entire time. Thank you. So, him, or I think there's one other guy too that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head that's like very highly rated as well. But
what school?
I'm too tired at the moment right now to be able to
understood.
To know.
Understood. I'll probably get a text. I'll probably get a text early tomorrow morning saying
you'll get a text from me in the morning. It's this fucking guy. But
yeah, that's his name, huh?
Yeah, but like 27 to me is the year to draft a quarterback.
Okay.
To me, I'm either shooting for the stars in 26 again with a trade for an established player, and then filling out the roster with my picks and free agency, or I'm punting and I'm hoping that the Jets are terrible. It's another 3-14 year. But people are just getting better with time and in the scheme. And then you have what I hope to be 4 first-round picks in a draft that's absolutely loaded. And I mean, in a draft like that, you could either take all 4 picks and really load your team down, or you could keep trading back and allow yourself more flexibility for years to come. You could do the anti-Idzik. Imagine what Idzik could have done in 2014 had he actually moved around the board instead of making 12 damn picks.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to close the show real quick, but Kevin asked this in the chat about 17 minutes ago. You guys probably already talked about this. Can you believe no one would give it better than a 4th-round pick for Brees? Yep. Yeah, we believe it.
We did talk about it, and if you go back probably about 30 minutes-ish, give or take, you'll see that I think Kansas City made an absolute mistake not giving a 3-up.
Yep, I agree. All right, Dan, we're it's approaching 10 o'clock.
Went a lot longer than I expected.
That's what I thought. I mean, we went a little long with hypothesizing what the Jets could possibly do. But hey, most predictable thing about the future is that it's unpredictable. So
and in the form of the Jets, probably disappointing.
I really hope not. Really hope not. But
at this point, that's the expectation. So that this way, anything beyond that's a bonus.
I will say this, Woody, get out of the way.
Sell the team, bro. Please sell the team.
That too. All right, we gotta get out of here because we're both tired and we've been talking Jets for a good hour. So now we've processed everything. So thanks for joining us, both Dan and myself, on Just Enjoy the Suffering, presented by No Credentials Required in association with Belly Up Sports. Go check out our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Go to bellyupsports.com for all your other podcasts and written articles and tons of content. Lots of shorts going on the shorts on our YouTube channel. So you want to check those out. I will probably react to the Cleveland game on Monday at around 8:30 Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern, 8:30 Eastern, depending on how far I want to take this, or I'll react on Sunday night. We'll see. Dan's got an open invite. I don't know how tolerant he is at this point to pay attention to the Jets, but you know what? He's open invitation, buddy. You're always welcomed back.
The problem is that I don't get local games. I have to watch it I have to watch it bootlegged on a Russian site on my phone. Or I have to go out to a sports bar, which I'm not doing because it's not worth spending money to watch the Jets at this point.
No. I do love beer though.
So you'll be ahead of me when we're watching the game because I found this Russian website that I use to do my streaming is about a minute to a minute and a half behind real time.
Yeah, so it's kind of like watching on Fubo for me at least, because I know Fubo is at least 30 to 60 seconds behind. So, but anyway, we're gonna get out of here. One of the both of us will be here reacting to the game against Cleveland either on Sunday or Monday. But until then, thanks for joining us on Just Embrace the Suffering, and everybody else have a good night. And we'll talk to you on Sunday or Monday about this game. And I might do a live react to Jets Patriots on Thursday. Thursday Night Football, I'm going to call it. So, but anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for joining us. You'll have a great night. Say the line, Dan.
Oh, yeah. Dolphins are trash.
There you go.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.